And we are going to improvise it as we go, as we typically do. But we'll start with something a bit more space-like to get ourselves warmed up. And then we'll do something a bit more nature-like. And then if we do a third painting, I have no fucking idea. We'll figure it out. We're going to work on a bigger piece right now. This is 22 by 28 poster board. And I'm just going to tape it down so it don't move on me. Just like that. Let's make sure everything is actually good to go up here. I think so. So if there are any problems, if TikTok kicks me out, this is why I kind of stopped doing lives in the first place, is TikTok has a habit of just shutting down my lives. I'm not going to know about it. So basically what's going to happen is I'm probably going to wind up talking to myself for like an hour. I guess I should put a disclaimer out there. I'm not wearing a mask right now because I'd like to educate, possibly, perhaps. But you should wear a mask. Spray paint is bad for you, believe it or not. And you should always wear gloves. If you don't have gloves, I understand the question of how to get spray paint off your hands comes up a lot. Warm water, soak your hands in warm water for a bit, and you can scrub them with some soap and you get it off. Or I really recommend, I'm not sponsored by them, but Grip Clean makes my life easier when it comes to that sort of thing. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead and do a space-ish thing. I'm thinking, I want to do like a corner planet over here with no stencil because I think that's really helpful. Especially for people who maybe can't find any cups or bowls or lids. But that's what these planet stencils are. They're cups, bowls, lids. You can even use the spray cans themselves, like that. But I am going to say, let's grab this plate right here. This is one of my favorite plates. Oops, get the dust off. We'll have a planet over here. Have something, kind of up here, and then we'll do a corner planet down here. Now what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to go ahead, and just kind of mark it out real quick. So we're going to have like a big close-up sort of planet right there. I'm going to try to just leave this alone as much as possible, so that way I can work on it later. But for now, I think we'll do 2 different planet techniques because I would like to teach as much as I can. So we'll do, let's go ahead and just outline them so we know exactly where to be putting paint. We'll go ahead and remove these, so now we know exactly where to be putting stuff. We don't have to do too little. We don't have to accidentally do too much, or the other way around. I don't know. I don't want to do a classic one. I'm kind of tired of doing that one. So we'll do a swipey one, which is always good and fun and easy. And we'll do another kind of swipey one, but with trash. And not you, not me, but actual trash. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to take, this is a pretty small planet, so we're going to take 2 or 3 colors. You can also use white and black on each end if you want. But I'm thinking, how about we do like something green over there? Because I have different shades of green. So I have a light green, I have this medium green, I think this is a nasty dark green. So what I'm going to do, I think, I'm not actually going to worry about which side we do, like with what, but I'm just going to do stripes, right, of that light, some of that darker right next to it, and then some of that even darker right next to that, just like so. Now if you want to add white or black, we absolutely can. I actually don't think that's a bad idea. So we can add white on the lighter side. Whoops, got caps up. Let's get another one. There we go. So we'll put white on the lighter side, and then we'll put black on the darker side, just to kind of explain that a bit more. Now what we need is the secret sauce. Secret sauce. This is what the secret sauce looks like. Screenshot it, whatever. Home Depot, Walmart will carry it. You can also get packs of like 6 of them on Amazon, I think. But that's going to re-wet the paint for us. So that's why we're spraying that down. You're just going to take your hand and just swipe back and forth. Now you could spray against the color that I just did. Remember, because we spray painted like this way, up and down. Those were the strokes that we did. And I went against that, and that's the kind of technique that we got right there. Now if we go with it, and I'll just demonstrate real quick again. If we go with it, we get a different look. So let's say we have, something tells me I'm going to regret that in a minute. Spraying colors all willy-nilly over here. So let's say we went with the color this time, and we just kind of swipe back and forth. See, we get completely different sort of techniques, and they both work. It just comes down to preference, right? But just to kind of explain that, but I really like that look. I like when the colors kind of clash together like that. All right, so we're done with this shit. Done with these nasty greens. Try to get rid of that as much as possible. Now all we need to do for this one, I want to actually pick some colors that go together really nice. I'm thinking maybe more fiery planet, so we'll do yellow, orange, red. I'm thinking that might be the move. I'm also thinking we'll have a light source somewhere up here, now that I'm thinking about it. And for that, we're just gonna make it an eclipse, because I think eclipses are dope. So we're just gonna spray a little bit of black right there for later on. Now for this, we're just gonna spray some yellow on one side. And I'm aiming the lighter colors a little bit more towards that light source, just to kind of play into that highlighting and shading, but you don't have to worry about that if you don't want to. So let's go ahead a little darker, and we'll just spray some orange down. I'm not worrying too much about fading them together, but if you want to, remember it's just about finding your distance. And we have some red on the other side. We should let that dry, but we're not going to. But actually, in the meantime, to kind of scrape some time by, what we're gonna need to do this is we're gonna need some trash. So when I say trash, I literally just mean trash. So poster board, if you have scrap poster board laying around, we just need a flat side. That's it. So I'm just gonna tear off a piece of poster board like that, and this is what we're gonna use. I like this over this because this isn't gonna flex. This is a metal putty knife, it's not gonna flex. I can flex this around to get a not so straight and manufactured looking planet, right? I can make it look a bit more round. Right, I'll try to talk about that more in a sec, because I know I yap, and I know my yaps can be confusing. But here's what we're gonna do. Neutral color. You can use gray. I've used gray, I've used black, I've used white. White I did not like, although if you want to try that, you can give it a shot. I really like black for this step, but neutrals is what I would recommend. Just cover that bad boy up. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take that trash. You wanna make sure that the paint is still wet, so we can use a little bit of secret sauce right there. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna curve this a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not keeping it completely straight like that. I'm giving it a little bend. And I'm just gonna start from the top, and I'm just gonna scrape and move down. Just scrape back and forth and move my way down. And we can see that orange is coming through, and we're about to hit that red down there where it darkens up. Very nice, very cool. This is a great planet technique. What I am gonna do, it scraped a lot of excess paint along the sides. I'm just gonna try to scrape that out of the way, so we don't see that when we do the rest of our space scene. We could also just smush it. Okay, that's great. So we have our planets, except for this one. Well, that one we'll do last. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cover up the eclipse. For this, I'm gonna use, if I have one lying about, here's one. This is just the lid that came on the spray cap. Spray cap can things. I'm just gonna use that for my eclipse over there. Now we're gonna highlight and shade. Don't skip this step. It is not as scary as you guys think that it is. And I'm kind of tired of seeing people not shading and highlighting, because the shading and the highlighting is what turns it from a circle to a sphere. So that's what a planet is, it's a sphere, okay? And it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated, okay? So at least do one or the other here. Let's start with the black. Well, I guess let's start with explaining it, right? But we're gonna use black for the demonstration. Each spray can is different, okay? Some cans come out really strong, some come out really light. So you're gonna have to play with this and figure it out for yourself, right? But what you wanna do is find your distance. So something like this is way too close, and it's kind of like a puddle, right? You get that like really solid line. That's not what we want for shading. So pull it back a little until you get that nice kind of like separated, faded sort of effect. That's the distance that you want to look for. And you also want to know how to make smiley faces. Don't trademark me, because apparently that's trademarked, I've been told. But smiley faces. That's it. That's all that it is. Okay, so find your distance. Don't be too close. Okay, don't kiss your canvas. And make smiley faces. That's all there is to it. It's not that complicated. Now remember, this is our light source right here. We've already figured that one out. So what I'm going to do, this planet right here, let's just trace it with a finger, right? The side of the planet that's closest to that light source is going to get the highlight, right? Which means the shading is going to go on the opposite side. Simple, right? So we find our distance with the black, and we're just kind of making a smiley face over there. And then for the shading, I work my way in a little bit. Okay, the highlighting, I don't do that. But for the shading, I can work my way in. You can work your way in as much as you want. It's up to you how much shading you actually want on your planet. Same thing down here, right? This side's going to be the highlighting because it's closest to the light source up there. So the opposite side's going to get the shading, right? So just find my distance. smiley face. That's it. That's all there is to it. So let's go ahead. And you don't need soft caps for this, although it would be helpful. I understand that's, people think that you need like fancy caps and shit like that. No, you don't. Lies. No, you don't. It's a skill issue. Now, if you're having problems, because I have nothing but like super duper ultra fat caps on my cans right now. So if you're having trouble with the control, what you can do is take more trash, right? And just curve it, right? So let's just curve it, and we're gonna use this as a guide right here, right? And we're gonna spray white here. This is really helpful for smaller planets, right? Just like that, and it's kind of ricocheting down there to give us that nice little white mist down there. There's our highlight. So there we go, we've done that. We done did it. Now this is a pretty big planet, so I don't go worry too much about that. Right, but we did get a lot of overspray, so what I'm gonna do is just go back with that shading down there to kind of counteract that. Not a big deal, not too crazy. So that's it. If you wanna let the paint dry, that's ideal. You probably should do that. I don't do that though. So what I'm gonna do is just smack these stencils on. Make sure you get some of that shading, some of that highlighting. Now we're gonna go ahead and make our scene, our space scene. I wasn't actually thinking about what we were gonna do for this. So let's just start with, let's put some color down to be safe, right? If we decide to do some sort of like galaxy technique, which I guess we will. I'm gonna try to keep this as beginner friendly as I possibly can. So let's do an easy galaxy technique. So let's grab some colors. It doesn't matter what colors that you want. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with some blues, because blues are nice. Blues are real nice, all right? Now what I'm gonna do is, you can think about where you want these colors. I'm not really gonna think about where I want these colors. So we do have this green. So I'm gonna do this little blue-green right here to just kind of tie into all that mess that I made earlier. Right, and then I'm just gonna kind of spray some other blues around it. So we have this light blue. I don't know what blue this is. Well, it needs a new cap, doesn't matter. Just grab that. And then we'll just do a dark blue around it, and I'll kind of like encircle it in. You can do lines though if you want. Like if you just want to do random things over here, we can absolutely do that. This is why the space stuff is so like popular, I guess, just because you can kind of get away with doing anything. So let's say we do some sort of line thing over there. And let's add some purple. Why not? Just because I don't have that many blues. Let's say that we're gonna have purple over there and over here, and maybe we're also gonna have some yellow. Maybe we'll have yellow kind of right in the center here. That's great, that's good. So we have colors down, and this is gonna come in handy in a minute. So now what I'm gonna do, and also notice I'm avoiding this area for now again. So let's go ahead and just kind of fill this up with black, and then we can add some colors to that, because I think all black can be kind of boring for space painting. But let's make sure we get around our stencils. We don't have to worry about the eclipse too much, because we have to put a color around that, and cover up all your color. Get around that stencil. All right, good enough. Good enough. Come on, I have dogs and there's hair. Get that out of the way. Okay. So let's go ahead and do our technique. We're gonna need secret sauce and magazine, newspaper, like that kind of material, or plastic bags if you have those. I have magazine, that's just what I have, right? But you can use any of those. We're gonna use the secret sauce, which for those of you who are just joining, this is the secret sauce. It's just clear coat. And what we're gonna do, you can fold this a certain way if you want to, or you can just kind of go like this, which is what I'm gonna do, and get a bunch of wrinkles in there. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna place it, give it a swipe. You don't need to put too much pressure down, right? Just kind of get it down, and then lift. And you're gonna get a bunch of texture and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and move around. And we have that lined thing over here. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and do the same, whoops, same exact thing over there. And we could do these in layers to really make these look like galaxies. Lots of clear coat. And all those colors that we had put down, that's what's coming up right here. So all those blues, those greens, whatever the hell that we placed down here, that's what's coming up. right? We have like stripes of blue and purple over here. The colors are close enough to where they fade together pretty nicely. If you want to go like complete opposite colors, fucking go for it, dude. Go for it. Let me grab another magazine though. And let's go ahead and work our way up here a little bit. And what we're going to do is layers on this, because this kind of looks like a whole lot of nothing right now. So we're going to go ahead and put some more onto it. All right, just kind of stretch out over there, and we'll stretch out a little bit down here as well. Perfect. Okay. Where we are going to save that for a bit later. Let's go ahead and just kind of, I'm going to go for these colors again. That blue-green, I'm looking at it, we did that blue-green kind of towards the center. We didn't really get a whole lot of yellow, so I'm not going to worry about that. Then we had those lighter blues and then that dark blue and purple down here. Those are the colors I'm going to grab again. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to start darker to lighter here. Right, I'm going to start from the outside and then work my way in. I think that's what's easier. So I'm going to take this purple and very lightly, I'm holding my can super far away. Just going to put a light mist over all the purple that we already had. Right, just putting a light mist. My goal here isn't to cover everything that we just did. I want to still be able to see it, but I want to add that extra color on top. Right, we kind of had that color over there as well. Let's see what we can get out of this can. Same thing, we're just going to work our way in a little bit. Right, so it's just super far away. Just put that color over that. And then finally that blue-green right there in the middle. Now I'm not sure, my cap kind of misbehaved there. I'm not sure how it looks up there, but you can still see everything down here. And I'll show a close-up in a bit after we're done. But we can still see all that texture, that's great. So we could do another, I think I'm just gonna leave it here, but if you wanted to go back with the magazine again, and like kind of just make more texture, you could absolutely do that. I would only recommend, actually let's do it over here for the hell of it, because I think we did lose a lot of texture over here. The only thing I'm going to say is go lighter this time, put even less pressure down on with this, okay, because you want less of these little spots coming up. So let's go ahead and do that, just a little bit over there. And I think this is actually really good so far. So let's add some more color, just little pops of color everywhere, because this is a big poster. So if we don't put a lot in it, it's going to look a little weird. And we also have to add color around our eclipse. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say we want, I have some neon colors here, which I think are going to be a good move. So let's say I have a red here, I think. Nope, that's not red. I think this is red. I'm just going to aim for the outside of this cap. Right, I'm just going to spray around it. And I think we're going to skip orange and just go straight to yellow. Just want to shake my cap a little, or shake my can a little. Okay, that looks good. Put yellow right around that. And then I think, you know what, we might actually leave it there. I was going to go white. I'm going to hope we got around that real nice. I think we'll just leave it with the red and the yellow. I think that'll be more than enough. So let's do, we could do asteroids as well. That's something we could do. Let's put some normal stars down while we think about this. So for this is simple. We're gonna take some white. I'm gonna try to do it right here just in case if it drifts. We won't be punished for it. Spray a little bit on the finger. Now what you want to do is off to the side, we want to flick a couple times to get any big nasty blobs off, and then just bring it to your painting. So spray the finger, flick 2 or 3 times. It is going to be different if you have like a really thin, glittery spray paint. You might have to flick a bit more off to the side. If you have a thicker spray paint like Montana Gold, you might not have to flick off to the side at all, to be honest. But I'm using hardcore, so it's like kind of this perfect in between, at least in my opinion. But that's a good deal, stars. Let's say I want to add more. I'm not really a big fan of how purple this is over here. So let's do this. Let's do another little galaxy. While we have the white out, let's just spray a little thing right there. we're not gonna leave it like that. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab yet another magazine. Do I have a thinner one? I would prefer something a bit thinner. Okay, here we go. This time we're gonna do kind of a pattern to it though. I'm gonna take my finger right in the middle, and then I'm just gonna fold it around my finger and pinch it down. Right, so the pattern that we got right here. Don't like take it too seriously, right? Don't try to like dissect every single move that I'm making and try to replicate it. Just kind of get the general idea of what I'm doing and just do your thing, right? So we have this center point now with lines going out in every single direction. This is a really cool pattern for galaxies and stuff like that. So we're gonna hit it with the secret sauce again. Just a bit. And I'm gonna try to aim that center point right in the center. I have no idea if I hit it or not, but we're gonna just pat it down a little bit. Remember, you don't need to use too much pressure. And then we'll lift. So there we go. We have another little mini galaxy out there in the distance. And then we can add a nice little star there in the center. But we'll wait because we'll wait for that to dry for a sec. Besides that, I think we have a lot in here. We can add like comets and stuff like that after. But for now, I think we did pretty good. So I guess let's work on this planet right here. So for this, the best way that I know how to describe it is windshield wipers, right? So that's basically where at the elbow, we just kind of rotate your arm at the elbow. You don't move anything past the elbow. That's the only way that I know how to describe it. That's how I kind of get away with not using a stencil, right? Now, if you're uncomfortable with that though, and you're worried about the freehand bit, take more trash. I actually think I have a piece right here. So take some more poster board, that really big poster board that has that flat edge, and you can just curve it a little bit. Oh, that's actually perfect. You can curve it a little bit and to kind of block off the rest of the space scene if you're worried about freehanding it. I might actually use that for the end anyway. But I'm thinking, do we want to add like a ring or something here? That's why I'm kind of stalling. I'm like, oh, do we go for like a big ring, like a big glowy ring? I've only done this technique once, so I'm a little worried about it, but I think we actually go for it. Now what I'm gonna do, I don't know what color this is. I think this is like a blue. I'm gonna put a little bit of that blue right there. Then I'm gonna do a star. Now here's how I'm gonna do a star. I want my putty knife that I may or may not have, never mind, I didn't lose it. Putty knife, right. You can also use just a poster board and hold it as straight as you can, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray white here, right? So we're gonna hover right here, and we're gonna make, I'm not placing it on the poster, sorry. I'm hovering maybe like a centimeter above it, and I'm spraying white onto the knife, and it's gonna redirect that line down. So now we have a star out there. Okay. I think we should go for the ring. I'm gonna go for the ring. If it fucks it up, that sucks because it's gonna be like impossible to cover up. So I say we actually go for it here. So here's how I'm gonna do this. This is not beginner friendly. I wouldn't recommend trying this if you're not confident at all. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna, we have a little mark there from earlier that I wanna get rid of so we don't see that later on. Boop. I'm all covered up with stars and stuff like that. It was just a nail mark from when I was trying to get a piece of hair off. Stars. It's okay, because we're going to add a bunch of color and stuff like that anyway right now. That's actually what we're going to do. So I'm going to take some color, and I think I like the idea of like adding an atmosphere sort of thing to this. So I'm going to take some blue. Now this is a very soft blue, that's why I'm holding it so close right now. Right, it's like an almost transparent fluorescent, so I can get away with holding it really close. If you don't have that, remember, just find your distance. That's all it takes, just find your distance. Let's do a green actually. I was going to say let's do yellow, but no, let's do a green. Same thing, this comes out pretty soft, so I can get away with holding it pretty close. Just to kind of get some color down there. I think that'll look really cool, hopefully, maybe, we'll see. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to freehand this ring. See if I can shift this a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and once again this is really soft so I can get away with this. I'm going to start as close as I can, and then I'm going to kind of arch my way out, and I'm going to also bring up my can a little bit so it thickens. Yep. I think that's how we're gonna do. I think the angle might be a little off, but we also might be able to just angle the planet a little differently. Full send it, as I say. Should we give it a color? Yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? Transparents can be so fun if you have them. Let's say we're gonna have, it's gonna be pink. Yep. It's gonna be pink. So let's grab, I'm just trying to straighten myself out real quick. Okay, so let's take, I like this, but I will say, I think I wanna add just a little bit of white in the middle. So what I'm doing right now is just trash, and I'm kind of curving it a little bit just to follow that curve. Just to add a little bit of white in the center again. Right, and I'm just spraying the inside of this card, right? It's just poster board. Cardstock, I think is what the Brits call it. Or the Europeans, Brits, Europeans, well, it doesn't matter. I think you guys call it cardstock. That's what poster board is over there. But there we go. Now we can do our planet and then we'll finish the ring on top of it. Because that's kind of what we have to do. So, what do we do here? How about we go, we'll do an arch of white. Remember, if you're not comfortable freehanding it, then don't. It's not a big deal. What colors haven't we used yet? We have a lot of blue, we have a lot of purple, so let's stay away from that. That's green. What the fuck was that? That was like yellow and red, right? That was yellow and red. So what are there colors we haven't used? Pinks, I guess? We haven't used pinks. Oh, but we have the ring as pink. How about we just start grabbing stuff and then kind of go with it? I think I like that idea a lot more, actually. I'm just going to spray some colors down. And what I'm going to do here... Ooh, you know what? Brown would be really cool, actually. The cap's a mess. Ignore that. But just going to add a bunch of colors. So we started with pink and then ended up with brown. Sorry, just putting a new cap on. Now what I'm going to do is I think we're just going to do a quick swiping technique over here. So secret sauce. I'm going to move this. And once again, just windshield wipers. I'm going to go with the flow of the planet. Just working my way down. We don't have to worry too much about the corner because we're going to kind of shade that a little bit. That's cool. We have like a dusty planet with a pink ring. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but it's sick. So that's great. That's great. Now for shading, I'm not going to do black. I'm actually just going to do... Let's try a red, and then if the red looks too bright, we'll do a brown. But remember, find your distance. I just want like a light mist over there. I think the red is a bit too bright. And just kind of throw it in the corner. And then now, we're not done yet. This is where that poster board's going to come in handy. I think what I want is a nice crisp line up here for the atmosphere, horizon, planet, surface sort of thing, thingy-majig. So what I'm gonna do, just poster board. It doesn't have, you don't have to have a giant piece like this, but since I have it, I'm gonna use it. We're gonna line this up as best we can with the curvature of the planet. And you can do this with every planet, by the way. It doesn't just have to be this one. And what I'm gonna do is just spray white right there. Right there, that's all I'm doing. So I'm hovering here, curving it as best as we can to line up with that. And I'm just spraying poster board. Look at that. Not too bad. Not too bad. So now let's go ahead and finish our ring. We can actually add texture to this as well. I think that's what I did last time. This glowy, glowy sort of ring. So for this, what I was using before was a synthetic sponge. Grouting sponge, general all-purpose sponge, I think I've heard it get called. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of secret sauce, re-wet that paint a little bit, and I'm going to use this sponge just to pick up some of this color. See, I'm not adding anything, I didn't spray anything onto the sponge, right? But it's just picking up that pink and that white and revealing whatever's underneath. So for right here, it's brown, which is fine. Over here, it might be a little bit more blue, or even black. So yeah, we're getting like those blue colors and stuff. That's perfectly fine. And I'm just tapping. If we want to do, I'm thinking we might actually add a little bit of black to this. I'm not a big fan of the brown right there. So what I'll do is add just a tiny bit more secret sauce. I'm going to add a tiny bit of black to the sponge. This is all me just fucking winging it, by the way. Like, because I don't plan my shit. That's too much. Right, and I'm just gonna tap very lightly. Just to add some black into there. Now, since this edge of the ring is further away, I'm tapping even lighter over there, right? Because that's all the way behind our planet, right? So very light. We don't really need to see too much happening over there. Believe it or not, these are beginner techniques. Well, not this. This whole area, I guess, isn't very beginner technique at all, but everything else was. I got carried away a little bit. So what I'm gonna do now, whoops, is I'm just gonna put that final thing of white right through the middle again. Just that final layer. So we're gonna take some white, and I'm using fluorescents, one, because they're soft and easy to like control, but also because it's gonna glow under a black light, and I think that's cool. Right here, and I'm just spraying the card, by the way. I'm not spraying the painting, just spraying the card. It's redirecting that little thing down. Just redirecting a little line down, right? So I'll just do something right here to kind of explain it for those of you who are just joining. Right, so we get that little line out there, and we're gonna make stars anyway. Just spraying the poster board. It's redirecting that fine line down. That looks great though. That looks great. I think we'll do one final thing. One final thing down here, because once again, this is where that ring is closest to us. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of fun. Anyway, oh, I think I want to add just a little bit of white in the middle of that star as well, while we're at it. That's great. Let's go ahead and remove these and see what else that we can do, what else we can add to make this even better. I'm thinking comets are a for sure thing. Ooh, that eclipse is awesome. I like that. But this is a really solid space painting. This was our warm-up painting. So I really can't complain too much. But yeah, let's add some more little stars, and let's add some comets as well. So let's do the comets, and then we'll just kind of knock the stars out in a minute. You're gonna need more trash. That one's been used, so I don't think that's gonna be really good. Let's try to tear off a piece of trash right here. You're gonna need a flat side to it. All right, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this. We're gonna try to work slowly on this. We have our piece of trash, we're just gonna fold it. You don't wanna crease the whole thing, right? You want that like kind of teardrop, water drop thing. And we're just gonna pinch it down slowly, right? And we're gonna get that comet shape. I don't know where the fuck you guys are, but that's kind of the thing that I like to go for. Now, if you want the comet open towards the back, like that, you're just gonna focus your finger pressure towards the bend right there. I like them when they're closed, like so. That's just my preference, right? Now, if you pinch it down more, the smaller they're gonna be, okay? And that's basically it. And we're gonna turn this around and treat it like a funnel. That's it, that's all we're gonna do. So let's make a little group of comets right here. I think that'll be really cool. We're just gonna knock them out. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Let's do another little thing up here. Let's just do 2 up here. So we'll do 1, 2. That's cool. That's cool. Fuck it, we'll do another one. Now if your paint's still wet, what you're gonna wanna do is hover. Like I did right there. But if your paint's dry, like mine is, you can kind of just lean on it. Lots of comments though. Neat. Neat. Let's go ahead and seal this up, and then we'll move on to our, I guess we'll take a little intermission for questions before we move on to the nature one, and then we'll see where we are after. Let's put that down here. We're just gonna seal it up with 1 layer of secret sauce, as even as we can. Just gonna give it that glossy coat. A little bit more in the corner, because that's where I like to sign my name. It's been a very long time since I have said it, but squiggle. That was fucking pathetic. Pathetic squiggle. But this is solid. Hey, this is a really solid piece, isn't it? So let's bring you guys down here. I'm glad we just stuck with red and yellow for that eclipse. That's awesome. We didn't do too much. Oh, and we didn't even touch up on the highlighting up here. I don't think it was really needed. Maybe that one a little bit. No, I'm looking at it. But like, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, we'll take like maybe a 2-minute intermission. I'm glad to see TikTok didn't shut down my shit yet. And then I think we might work on something a little smaller for the next one. Well, I'll actually leave that up to you guys. So should we do one big nature painting or should we do like 2 smaller nature paintings? How did you do the pink thing? Just freehand it. I'm gonna post this later on YouTube as soon as TikTok lets me save it. Because this is the Yip Yap session today. I forgot to record one. I'm lying. I don't know why I'm lying. I've been playing Call of Duty all week. I didn't film because I was playing Call of Duty. But I'm trying to make up for it now. So we have a live Yip Yap session. I think I've made up for it. What caps do you use? I have a lot of fat pinks and New York fats as well. I just kind of buy whatever. Do the little paintings? Yeah, I'm thinking 2 like smaller paintings. They'll be a little quicker, but simpler. I think big paintings can be a lot and very overwhelming. It's why I really like 11 by 14s. What got you started doing this? How did you learn? I saw somebody doing it on the street when I was a kid, and it stuck with me. And I just kind of watched other street videos of people doing it on the street. And I sat here for hours and hours and hours and tried to dissect every little thing that they were doing until it became an addiction. That's it. Back then, there weren't really a whole lot of people explaining it. So that's just what I had to work with. What kind of and size cardboard poster board? This is a 22 by 28 inch. You can usually find poster boards or cardstocks in 3 sizes, 11 by 14, 14 by 22, and this one, which is a 22 by 28. If you're just starting, I think 11 by 14 or 14 by 22 is a great point to start. Because like I said, this, even to me right now, this can get really overwhelming, having such a big poster board. How cold is it? Oh, it's like 80 degrees. It's not very cold at all. Any tips for brand new beginners? Do this. Do this. If you're a brand new beginner, do all this. Skip this. Don't do what I did down here. Maybe skip over that for now and try it later on. But if you're a brand new beginner, I've actually made a video on this, the moon tutorial. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do a moon painting. We'll do the moon bit of the next painting. And that is the most beginner-friendly thing I think you could do. And then we'll add a bunch of stuff after it, which is not so beginner-friendly, but you know what I'm trying to say. So we'll do something like super-duper easy. You've never touched spray paint before. I promise you could do the moon. That is the place to start, right? So just start with the easy stuff, start with the planets, get a feel for the spray paint, and then figure out what you want to actually paint. Does it have to be a warm or hot environment? No. But your environment does play a part in how you have to act or how your process is going to be. So if it's colder out, the paint's going to take longer to dry. So in that case, you might just have to wait a little bit of time. So when it gets really cold out, I wait to place the stencils. I'll wait a few minutes to let the paint dry. Or you can grab something like a blow dryer to kind of speed up the process because heat dries paint faster. Now if it's really hot out, you're going to have to use a lot of clear coat to keep paint wet. That's basically it. But it'll still work. You just have to know how to go about it. I've been doing this, thank you. Thank you. Not gonna lie, I did take a shot before, so I'm extra yappy before I started the live. But I've been doing this a long time, so I think I'm able to explain things a bit more comfortably. Do you ever use stencils? I don't think it's bad to use stencils. I think it's a different style. It's not for me. I don't really care for it too much. I like to either freehand things. The only stencils I'll ever do is if I need a perfect circle or if it's an iconic photo. So if it's something that I do not want to butcher at all, so for example, the one stencil that I have is actually the Marines raising the flag in Iwo Jima. That I use a stencil for. Anything else, I'll just try to freehand. How much would a piece like this one cost? I go by size, so this size I sell for $55. Like an emblem, yeah, I know a lot of people do like the multi-layered stencils. That's not for me. It's just not for me. Yeah, okay, but I think, let's move on to the next thing. I think I can actually lower you guys a little bit because we're gonna do 2 smaller paintings. So, oh, I actually didn't think about this. Where the fuck do I put this in the meantime? Let's lift this up. If I can get it. The tape is taping. There we go. Just move this out of the way. And then I think I can get you guys a bit lower because we're gonna do some smaller stuff. So we don't need this anymore. And, oh, here it is. That is how tiny it's gonna be. So we can actually turn you guys around as well, so we're the right way. Or we can keep it like this. You know, fuck it, we'll keep it like this. YouTube will appreciate that. Nope, you can do it on canvas. I'm broke. I just had a vet visit. I'm broke right now, so we're using poster board. If you're gonna use canvas though, just prime it or buy one that comes pre-primed. But here we go. And I place my posters on something like cardboard or that other board just so it doesn't stick to my table. That's all that is. I'm gonna tape it down. And here's how we're gonna start this. We're gonna start this with the easiest painting ever, and then we're just gonna add stuff to it. So if you're an absolute beginner, you've never touched spray paint before, you've never inhaled the Satan fumes, you could do this. I promise you. I've seen like people and their 7-year-old children doing this. I think it's a great fun little weekend project that you could actually do. And for pretty cheap too. Just grab a pack of poster boards you can get for $3 at Walmart. You can get 10 poster boards. And just grab black, white, and clear. Whoops. Sorry, I dropped you guys. Or I've dropped the microphone, which I also consider to be you guys because that's where I talk. Anyway, so this is what you're gonna do. Like I'm lining this up perfectly for you. If you've never touched spray paint before, you wanna get into this, what you're gonna need, go to Walmart, you're gonna grab clear coat. I'll grab another can so it's easier to see. Clear coat, you're gonna grab black, and you're gonna grab white. That's it. Now the Walmart's not gonna have hardcore, but this is just the brand that I prefer. Rust-Oleum will work perfectly fine. Okay, so this is all you're gonna need, plus head to your kitchen or go to the dollar store and pick yourself up a plate. That's it. That's it. Just get yourself some sort of plate or lid. I think I got this from Walmart for 50 cents. So there you go. That's all you need. Oh, and then just use the plastic bag that they give you if you don't have a store that gives plastic bags anymore. Magazine, newspaper, that sort of thing. Something you can get for free. So here's how we're gonna do this. If you want to, we're gonna outline this. We'll just make it centered. We'll just center this. What we're gonna do is take the black and we're just gonna outline it so we know exactly where to be putting our paint. And here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna take our white and spray it everywhere in the circle. Now, if you wanna add like drops and stuff, some people will do this. They'll flip like droplets and be messy with it and stuff like that. You absolutely can. Absolutely can. Have fun with it, right? Just get white down there. And then you're gonna take the black and you're gonna cover it. That's it. Just cover it. You're gonna take your magazine, your newspaper, your plastic bag, whatever you have. Get a bunch of wrinkles in it. Place it, oh, and this is where the clear coat would come in. If the paint is already dry, you use this to re-wet it. That's it. We're gonna swipe and then lift. Just swipe and then lift. And then we're gonna get all that really cool texture. Swipe, lift. There we go. We have our texture of our moon. Now we're gonna shade and we're gonna highlight. We don't skip this part. We want spheres, not circles, right? So we're gonna take the black. This is how we're gonna do this. Find your distance. This, kissing the canvas is not gonna work. It's too solid, it's too puddly. Find your distance. Pull the can back a little bit. Get that nice faded, separated sort of look. That's all it takes, right? And then you make smiley faces. So let's say I want my shading down here. Highlighting will go on the opposite side. Perfect. I'm gonna find my distance. Smiley face along that side. That's it. That's it. Same thing over here. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the fat cap because it doesn't matter. Same thing over here. Just a smiley face of white. That's a really rough cap, but you get the point. And that's it. There you go. So you should let this dry if you want the best results. I don't do that. So what I'm gonna do is just take my stencil, place it down. You're gonna take your black and just fill in the rest of your painting. We are gonna turn this into something more, but hold on. I don't wanna accidentally rip you guys off the microphone off. So just fill that in. And we're gonna do some stars. This is real simple. Some white on the finger. Flick to the side first a few times, get those big blobs off, and then just bring it over to your painting. We actually got a couple blobs over there. I'm a big fat liar. There you go. That is the easiest spray painting you can ever make. Probably the easiest painting you could ever make. There it be. There it be. That's totally it. Now what we're gonna do now, so my shading actually bled through a little bit. It's just because I didn't wait for anything to dry. You wanna know the solution? Just go over it again because everything's black anyway over here. So you just go over it again. That's it. All right, now let's turn this into a pretty nature painting. Okay, real quick, actually. So once you get used to this beginner stuff, this is actually where you're gonna pick up next. This is where I would recommend you pick up next. So let's say you wanna get into the nature-y, pretty sort of thing. Great. Make your moon, take a straight edge of some sorts. You can use trash, you can use this. And we're just gonna cut it in half, right there. I just sprayed the tool and it put a line down. That's all that we did. Now what we're gonna do is very gently, we're gonna take some clear coat, just re-wet that paint very gently. I'm gonna take my fingers, we'll start from the top, and I'm just gonna swipe back and forth. Now if you wanna keep the reflection, what I'm doing here is I'm not keeping my fingers on the poster board. You can do that if you want, but you're gonna lose the reflection a lot. I'm lifting my fingers at random points to kind of keep some of that reflection going. There we go. There we go. Let's get up there as well. So there we go, we have a nice little ocean. But let's add some I don't know if I want to keep this super simple, beginner-friendly sort of thing. Yeah, because we're going to make another painting anyway in a second, so it doesn't really matter. But let's do this. Let's go back up here and make that nice crispy horizon again. And we'll make one island. That nice white crispy horizon. Actually, let's do a couple islands right here. So here's how we're going to do this. Some black. Just to keep this as easy as possible. Straight off to the side. Finger painting. That is the way. That is the way. So let's you can make a giant rock sort of thing right here. Or you can make a distant island if you want. I kind of like the idea of just having a big old chunky rock. Same thing, we could just kind of, this is how I do it. I just kind of start swiping in some little patches of land. I don't know, I think it's fun. Now let's say we want something maybe more out there in the distance. That's cool. Just finger paint in some little islands back there. There we go. There we go. And we'll do a nice little shore down here. This is already pretty much black down here, so it doesn't really matter. But usually you would just kind of swipe in a little shoreline. And then here's where the fun begins. Where the really fun part begins. We're gonna take some trash. And it doesn't matter if it's flat, it doesn't matter if it has some what the fuck? What the fuck was I saying? Some little zigzag and like kind of weird notches, and it doesn't matter. I don't know what the fuck I was even trying to say. We're gonna take some white, we're gonna spray off to the side. Now where land meets water gets a nice little white line. So if it's out there, we don't want to do too much, right? Just a nice little white line. Right. Now when we get down here, just swipe it all in. Little white lines, and not the illegal kind. I don't know where that red came from, but I'll accept it. Just kind of swipe it in. You can go up and down a little bit. You can do whatever, side to side. You can just, there you go. Not bad, right? Not bad. Not too bad. Also, one thing I like to do, so for those pieces of land that are like way out there, I like to add a little mist behind them. So if you have a soft white, that'll be preferred and easier. If not, best of luck to you. I have faith. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the water a little, and I'm going to spray white onto the poster board just to give that nice little, like, kind of foggy mist at the bottom of that land over there. Same thing we do down here. Even though it's a little closer, we can still add that little mist back there. Nice. Okay, there we go. See, really easy painting. But I would start with the moon. Let's go ahead and seal this up. And then we'll do something. I don't know what we're doing next. I can't even promise if it's, I'm done telling people it's beginner, not beginner, and whatever, because it usually winds up not beginner anyway. But hey, look at this. I'll actually just lift up this whole thing. Look at this. Choo. Not bad. We'll do one more, and then I'll answer questions and stuff like that, because I can't stay still. We got to move on to the next. Let's put this to the side. Whoops. That's the side. Let's get ourselves another poster. And let's make something a bit not too simple. A bit not too simple. Yep. Or at least let's try. So I actually kind of want to do. Let's do we have, I don't want to do another planet per se, but I kind of want to, the eclipses, that eclipse in the first painting felt really nice, and I kind of want to do another one. Or we can make something, let's just make something pretty. Let's just make something really pretty. If I feel like I want to do the eclipse, we'll just make another painting. Okay, so let's do something really pretty. Let's spray down some colors, just to be safe. Just to be safe in case we do any crazy whatever the fuck a little later on. Yep. So let's say we're gonna do some yellow. Just a light coat, doesn't have to be anything crazy. And let's just throw in, that can's almost done for. There we go. We have some colors. They're nice. They're beautiful. So if we do mountains or something like that, I'll probably show up a little yellow, orange, red. Actually, let's add brown as well, because that feels right. Neat. Let's do, how do we do a bright sky with a rainbow? Should we do a rainbow? Oh, let's do a rainbow. I think that's a great idea. Rainbows are really great. Or, okay, actually, we'll take a poll. Do we do northern lights, or do we do a rainbow? Do we do something dark and northern lighty, or do we do something bright and rainbowy? Both? No, not both. I told you to pick one. Rainbow, rainbow, ooh, rainbow, rainbow. Northern lights. Maybe we will do two. You can't. Oh, I thought that was the same person saying northern lights twice. I was about to say you can't vote twice. That's not how this works. Okay. Well, it's definitely rainbow. Perhaps next painting. Oh, we're gonna wind up doing another painting, aren't we? I always say shit and then I just never do it. I was like, yeah, let's do 2 or 3 paintings. We're gonna do like fucking 4 or 5, aren't we? Bright rainbow. Here's what we're gonna do. Bright colors. This is gonna be our sky. It looks kind of ocean-like, actually. Let's pick another blue. I'm not even gonna worry about like fading anything together or anything like that. Nope. I'm just gonna throw some blues down. Wonderful. Here, we'll do the rainbow. No, let's do a mountain way off in the back and then a rainbow kind of in front of it. So here's how I'm gonna do this. Since this is really bright, let's try it the first way. I don't think the first way is gonna work, and then we'll move on to the second way, but I guess it won't hurt to try the first way. Anyway, magazine. I'm gonna fold this so it's a bit more comfortable for me. That is basically all I'm doing it for. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is, this is how the mountain technique works. I'm gonna grab my right hand, my dominant hand, I grab the bottom, and I'm gonna fold it over my fingers like this, right? And I'm gonna use my dominant hand to guide this along to make mountains. That's it. So we're gonna take some secret sauce. We're gonna re-wet that paint once again. Oh, you know what? I'm glad we did it that way. That is sexy. I like that. We make some mountains way back there. That is actually really nice. I thought it was gonna look horrific. That's really nice. We just gotta fix that last mountain, which I'm actually just gonna kind of like paint it down. Just kind of paint it down like that. We're actually gonna make a little whoops, holy fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Well, it looks like we're making a really big fucking mountain peak over here. That's cool. Whee! That was fun. Okay, so now we have that mountain back there, but that's gonna be a really distant sort of thing anyway. So here's what I'm gonna do. White. We're gonna add a mist, so don't hold it too close like that. Pull it back a little bit, and we're just gonna add a mist under there to really show that it is super far out, dude. Super far out. And we're gonna do, so we need some trash for this. We need some trash for our rainbow. I'm gonna use this big fucking chunk of trash, right? It's just poster board. We just need a flat side. Now, how big it is depends on how big you want your rainbow. And believe it or not, we're gonna use the colors of the rainbow. So that's what I'm gonna start using here. These are all fluorescents. So they come out kind of transparent-y, which I really like. I'm just gonna put that disclaimer out there, right? But let's go ahead and, do we arch this? Do we have like a nice arch, or do we kind of... No, I kind of like the idea of it like starting over here and then just going off page a little bit. That's kind of what I like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just spraying the poster. I'm spraying the trash. I'm pointing to the wrong place. I'm spraying the poster trash, and it's redirecting that line. So we have the red. We're just gonna go a little bit under that red with the orange, same exact thing. Now we're gonna go to yellow. I think I might have misfired a little bit, but it's okay. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Let me tear this off so I can control it a bit better. There, trash. Let's go back over here. I'm actually gonna go back to orange and red to fix what I just messed up on. Perfect. Okay, now we're gonna move on to green. I think I have all the colors. And you just move down the rainbow. That's it. We're just spraying the poster board. I am mixing up all my paint cans down here though, and that's upsetting me. We got the blue. And then we have a pink, which I am gonna put down here. It's a very hot pink, but I have faith in it. And I'm having a lot of fun. So there we go. There's our rainbow, our huge chunk of fucking rainbow. Now let's do, I'm thinking actually I want to do a waterfall. I want to do a waterfall. I want to do a jungle-y thing. This is going to be a jungle thing. We're going to make a jungle thing. So let's do some jungle type stuff. Let's take some more trash and we're going to make it ziggy-zag with jags and jigs and everything in them. Right? Just a piece of nasty old trash. We're going to use this as a paintbrush because jungle stuff can get away with that. Black to the side. Now here's what we're going to do. For a lot of the jungle stuff, we lift in the motion. That's how we make a lot of palm leaves and stuff like that. So just kind of lift it as we swipe. You kind of see what I'm saying? So if we do like a solid stroke, we get that. But if we lift it in the motion, right, it kind of separates a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just do a bunch of that. Not too bad so far. We can also use synthetic sponge for this, but I mean, trash is fun. Trash is, and also you don't need to go out and get sponge. Like you could just use trash. You just use the trash. How about we do this? We'll do like a cascading waterfall sort of thing right there. So I want it to start right there. I can already see it. And then we'll have it like water, right? And then we'll have it come down again, like a, and then we'll do another little thing right here, right? And then we'll do another big one right there for the waterfall. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and paint this black. I like to have a black background to my waterfalls just because I like the waterfalls to pop, right? I like them to have something really, really nice to contrast against. But yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and keep doing we're gonna start from the back with our plants and then we'll kind of work from there. All right, maybe we do like palm trees or something. Yeah, sure. Let's finish with our like plants and maybe we just tap in some stuff. Oh, I don't like that. Never mind. We're gonna keep swiping. Remember these plants all the way back here? They're all the way back here. Who gives a fuck? We're about to like not even see them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, this piece of trash, its life is over. So let's go to our synthetic sponge now to just kind of speed things up. Right, because what I'm going to do, and this is grouting sponge, general all-purpose sponge. You can get it from a bunch of different places. I'm going to start tapping, tap, 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 just to kind of fill up this space. You can freehand it if you want, but you're going to risk a lot of overspray, which even I'm not willing to risk right here. So just keep tapping, fill it up. For the back layer, we're going to keep it black. I'm not going to add any highlights or anything like that. And that's our back layer right there. So there we go. Do we do it? Yeah, we'll do a little palm tree back there. Just one singular one. Here's what I'm going to do. Trash, poster board, crease it. Give it a nice crease. We're going to put some black in here. And when we tilt it down, we can draw with it. We're going to see all that paint kind of pour out. Perfect. This is how we're going to make the stem trunk thingy-majiggy. We'll do it right here. Yep, right there. No, I don't like that. I think it needs a friend. Let's do that again. Let's make another one. But his friend is going to be all the way off over here. Right there. We can also make birds this way. Birds. Just some wonky looking bees. Yep. Now for the palm leaves there, once again, same exact thing. We're just going to control it a little bit better. We're going to attempt to control it a little bit better. Let me watch what I say. Black off to the side. We need another piece of trash with the jigs and the jags and the zigs and the zags. Right, just like that. And I'm just going to kind of do the corner here because these are very small. Like these are way off in the distance. I don't need to be doing too much here. Right, but I'm just going to make some little swipes, lifting in the motion. Giving them some curve. Let's see if I could do it with being a little closer to you guys so you guys can see. Right? But let's actually move over here. Can you guys see that one? Right? I'm just kind of taking the corner and I'm swiping it and then also just giving it a little lift. A little lift before I finish the stroke. Right? That's it. Just gonna make palm trees that way. All right. Remember, these are way off out in the fucking way out there. So we don't got worried too much. Remember, this is not the art of precision. This is the art of not precision. Whoops. So have fun with it. There we go. We've got our little palm trees out there. Let's keep them silhouetted. I was going to say let's add some coconuts or something. No, let's just keep it silhouetted. So here's what we're going to do. Since we're not adding any green or anything to this back layer. Oh, I got to, we'll do our waterfall first. We'll do our back waterfall first. So for this, once again, we need more trash. I have trash everywhere. I know. Let me clean up a little bit real quick. Okay, there we go. So we just need another piece of trash. It doesn't have to be straight. It can be straight. It cannot be straight. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going to use a tiny piece though, because this is the one all the way off in the back. We're going to take some white, right? We're going to use this as a paintbrush. And remember the key here is to full send it. Slow and steady is a bunch of bullshit. Just drop that bitch down. Just drop it down. That's it. Oh, I'm glad I saw that. Okay, they were about to shut down my live for inactivity because obviously I'm inactive. Thank God I actually looked up. There we go, waterfall. And what we're gonna do is for the water, we're not even gonna do anything crazy. I'm just gonna kind of swipe in some shit over there. There's a little lake pond thingy. There's probably a word for that, but it's the thing that the pool of water that's going to lead to the other waterfall, and it's going to lead to the other pool of water, and then you understand. You understand. Let's do a mist of green though here. I think a mist of green would be a great separator for the next layer. So let's see what we got. Do we do a fluorescent or do we do just? Let's just do that. Let's just do that. Remember, it's going to be a light mist. Now, I'm actually going to take this piece of trash to help guide me a little bit. Right, and I'm gonna use this to help me control my mist. Right, I'm just, fucking hell, all my caps are on the struggle bus. Grab another one. Ooh, okay, there we go. Perfect. Just gonna spray this piece of trash, and it's gonna give that big mist down there. I'm gonna try not to go in front of the waterfall. Obviously, over 3 is gonna go in front of the waterfall, but I'm not gonna spray directly on there. That's great. That's wonderful. However, I am going to add a little bit of white. Just a little bit of white right under it. Just to make sure we can actually see this next layer really well. Oh, also the splish splash. I'm just going to use my hand. Oh my god, you can't even see the waterfall anymore. Well, we know it's back there. We know it's back there. That's all that matters. So let's do our next little thing. Whoops. So we have our water here. Woohoo, water, right? And then we're gonna have more plants and stuff. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So let's take this. We're gonna take more black. I'm just gonna spray directly onto the sponge. And we're gonna go ahead and make our next layer of stuff. We can even do some rocks and stuff like that in a minute. We had those mountains all the way off there in the distance that you can still kind of see. We could do the same technique down here for some rocks. Just gonna tap, 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 tap. Right, we could swipe, swipe, swipe. And then let's actually, let's add some black. I'm trying to be careful not to get any overspray up there. And let's add some rocks and stuff. So let's take that magazine again. And for those of you who weren't here for that, I'm gonna fold it in half to make it more comfortable for me. Clear coat to re-wet this paint. I'm gonna take my right hand, my dominant hand, grip the bottom, fold it over the top, right? Fold the magazine over. And that's how we're gonna go ahead and make some rocks and stuff like that. Oh, that's perfect. That's awesome. Have some rocks right there. Maybe we'll have some rocks right there. That is a neat. How about, I like what we have right here so far, okay? But we are gonna add some green. I don't want it to be too bright yet, just because this is like the middle layer. I think we're gonna have one more or two more. So let's take just some green. I'm just gonna take some normal ass green, move. I'm gonna go on the opposite side of the sponge that's still a bit clean. And I'm just gonna spray that down. And very lightly, I'm gonna tap over some of these plants, very, very lightly, just to add a little highlight. I'm not trying to overtake the black. I just wanna add some little highlights to them. That's it. Just a little bit of color. We can add some branches and stuff like that in front of the waterfall, but we gotta do the waterfall first, so we'll wait on that. Very lightly. I don't want this to be too strong. If you think you did too much, that's okay. Just go back with some black. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. So let's do another waterfall. I lost my waterfall tool, so we shall make another. Trash. Rip it. I actually don't like that piece, so I'm gonna go ahead and rip it again. There we go. That's also a very jagged looking piece, but that's fine. I'm gonna spray some white off to the side real quick. Actually we'll use this. Right, we're gonna just treat it as a paintbrush. Just dip it in the paint. Start at the top, drop it down. Drop it down. We can even give it a little curve. Perhaps even, ooh, that was a little shaky because I didn't full send it. There we go. We got a waterfall there. That's a nice waterfall. That's a brilliant waterfall even. So let's give it some splish splash. We can just use a little knife. Well, actually, I want a bigger knife. Use a slightly bigger little knife. And I'm just going to spray some white for the splish splash. Right? And also, let's just spray. Let's see what we can do here by just spraying the white. Whoops. And then we'll just kind of swipe our fingers in it and see what it looks like. If it looks like shit, then we'll do it the other way. Oh, I kind of like that. Right? Just some clear coat to re-wet the pan. I'm just swiping it all in. It's not bad. It's not bad. I like that. It's not bad. Okay, so here we go. We're ready for our next layer now. So we're going to just do white. I'm just going to spray some white so we can see this next layer. Yep, not even going to think about it. We're just going to do it, and then we can do our final layer of stuff. We'll do, I kind of want this to come up a bit more for this one. Yeah, I like that. I think that'll be great. Okay, so here's what we can do. We can add some more rocks and stuff like that. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. So here's how I'm going to do that. Let's actually say, yeah, we'll do some rocks and then we'll do some like plants in front of it. So I'm going to get as close as I can here, just because I want to avoid as much overspray as possible. But I'm going to spray some black, right? And we still have that mist of white. That's good. That's great. We definitely want that. But I just want this for the rocks right here. Clear coat. We're going to grab magazine again. Once again, just going to fold it over my fingers, and then just drag it down for some rocks. I don't really like the top there, but that's fine because we could just put a bunch of plants in front of it. But now that we have our rocks, we can just build off of it. So let's do some more stuff. Let's say we have, I think I kind of want just like a tree branch out here. So let's take our fountain pen thing, which is just some trash crease. Spray some black in there. Come on, there you are. And we can go ahead and draw a branch in. So let's go ahead and say we want something. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's just some lines connected to the lines, that connected to the lines. And we just have a little branch out there. We don't even have to add leaves to it if we don't want to. I just like the idea of having something just kind of intrude its way into the middle of our painting. Wonderful. Anyway, back to the spam tapping and swiping. Right, so we have that base of black, and we're going to add a nice big old highlight afterward. Let's say we want and yeah, let's do another little thing right here. And we can actually do maybe another layer of rocks. So how about we do that? Yeah. Bet. I'm just going to spray some black over here, and we'll make another layer of those rocks. But first, let's finish the plants. Let's do that first. So here's what I'm going to, let's move. We're going to need green, we're going to need yellow. I think my green's still over here. I just like to spray it directly on the sponge. You ain't got to. You can spray it off to the side if you want. Green, yellow on top. That's it. So green in the middle. Well, I kind of just sprayed green everywhere, and then I put yellow on top. Bring this over here. Once again, you don't need to tap too harshly, but just kind of tap over that. And we have our highlights. Boop. I actually kind of want to do something right here. I can't help myself. Just a little tiny thing of leaves. And do a swipey thing. Tap, 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 tap. swipey thing. Tap, 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 tap. Perfectly fine. Maybe we want like a little thing right here. Just a little thing. Okay. I actually don't like that at all. I don't like how I covered my entire waterfall. So let's see if we can actually. Should we just go over it again? That was stupid of me. I definitely want to go back with that waterfall. So here's how we'll do that. It's fine. It's fine. Just put some black there. I'm going to let it dry for a sec, and then we'll go back with the waterfall again. I like the idea of the branch, but the leaves were too much. All right. Oh, and then for this rock as well, just going to add a little mist so we can see this rock as much as possible. Clear coat. Make sure that paint's still wet. All right, and I'm just dragging this newspaper along with my fingers, or it's magazine, but you can use newspaper. Oh, and then we have to do our final waterfall anyway, so I guess it works out perfectly. Same thing, actually, let's just do another rock thing right here. A little white. Need a little bit of clear. There we go. We have some rocks. And I think that's pretty much it for besides the waterfalls. So let's take that piece of trash again. And we'll do this waterfall first because this is already dry, which is what I like. Spray some white on the side. That's really nice. Just put some little white, what the fuck? Little white lines up there for some waves, ripples, whatever it is. Now let's go back up here. Whoops. And there we go. We'll redo that bit. All right, so let's do our splish splash. Since we have nothing down here, we don't have to really use any sort of guide. What I'm gonna do is just kind of flick my hand up with the white. We can even add little flicks of white in there. Now for something up here, we just need something to kind of block off the water down here. Whoops. Protect it. Just like that. And then one final thing is I just want to re-add that branch. Because the branch was fine, it was the leaves that we fumbled on. And maybe we'll add a bigger bird, one that's like in the jungle with us. There we go. Much better. Much better. I could finally breathe. Lovely. Don't mind me. It was just a little piece of white that got in there. This is great. Yeah. How about just one bird that's a bit closer? I think that's the perfect size. Let's say he's just hanging out like right... Fucking hell, I actually don't know. Now that I'm here, I don't know. Say he's hanging out kind of like right here. Just kind of flying towards us. Or away from us. Maybe it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is a nice painting. Nice little like jungle sort of painting. I enjoy. So let's say we want to add some little pieces of grass or something like that. That's fine. What we're gonna need is a knife. And I'm just going to use some clear coat to rebut that paint. So you can use this if you want, just use the corner. I like the palette knife. This is my baby. We're just going to draw in some little things of grass. Maybe, yeah, Maybe we'll just have, it's like some tall grass, some stem sort of plant things. We could even carve out, should we carve, no, I don't want to carve out the branch. I think the branch is fine. But let's say we have some little bits of fucking shit happening over here. Just flicking my knife up. That's a nice. This is a really solid thing. I like this. And we're just gonna add, once again, that yellow, that green right there. And I think this is great. I think we're done. I think we did like way too much, to be honest with you. So let's do one final thing of clear coat. I'm gonna avoid that big bird just because he's already still wet and I don't want him to blob. And that is it. I guess we'll do one more. People brought up the Northern Lights earlier. This took us a while, I think, this one. So I don't even know if those people are still here, but Northern Lights sound great. We could just do a simple nature-y thing with that. Oh, you guys are this way, my bad. But that's a very nice. That's a very nice. Where do I put this? Yeah, this is definitely going to have to be the last one though, because I don't have any more space. Okay, so one more. 11 by 14 poster, same as before. We're going to use a lot of fluorescents here, just because they're great for the Northern Lights. They make it look so pretty. So let's do a nice, do we do like I feel like we already did a normal moon. But I kind of like the idea of having some sort of big looking crazy moon. Or do we let's just leave it. Let's just have like a plain darker sky and then we'll do the Northern Lights. We'll do a mountain thing. So let's just start with black. Oops. Hold on, trash is sticking to me. So let's start with black. Let's go to a dark blue, just to add some color. Let's do a purple, just because I'm almost out of that blue. Actually, okay, that looks great. So let's go ahead and we'll do just a few stars, especially up towards the top. So let's go ahead and spray some white on the finger. We're gonna flick to the side first, get those nasty chunks off, and then flick it down just like that. We don't need too many for this. Perfect. So for the Northern Lights, here we go. We're gonna need, once again, more trash. I know, crazy, right? Shocking. This time we want a torn side, or at least I like to have a torn side. So I'm just gonna use what we already have right here. Now for the fluorescence, this is what I recommend. I recommend Montana Gold has fluorescence in that line. So I will go ahead and say, I think this one is called Disco White. That's what I'm gonna use. I also like to use, I think it's called Flame Blue. I think that's what it's called. It's all like caked on, so I can't see the name anymore. And I think it's called Acid Green, although I actually have a different line for the green, but it doesn't really matter. So I have fluorescent white, blue, and green. The blue isn't necessary, but I like it. I think it's a nice little addition. Make sure to shake that can. We're gonna start with the white though. And we're just gonna basically just kind of spray. We're gonna use this as a guide, right? So let's go ahead and spray some white. I think I could see some Northern Lights kind of rooting off over here. Whoops. Perfect. And then I think I can see them maybe actually curving up a little. Why not? Just like that. And then I think I want another really long one that goes across the entire kind of painting. Just like that. Just like so. Just kind of get that white down. because that's gonna make it really like pop and glow. Okay, so next I'm gonna add the line thingies. The line thingies that you see in pictures of Northern Lights. So for this, you can use a putty knife if you want to, but I'm gonna use the flat side here. And I'm just gonna spray directly onto the poster board. Right, and what I'm aiming for is those lines start at the, I call it the root. I don't know what it's actually called, but I call it like the bottom bit of the Northern Lights, the root of the Northern Lights. I like to try to start there and then have those lines come up. Now, it's spray paint, so you're probably gonna miss on a few of them. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And just make a bunch of lines anywhere. Okay, now let's move on to the color. For the blue, you can sit here and try to line it up as best you can if you want to. I'm just gonna go for it. Because what I'm gonna aim for is kind of the top of the Northern Lights with this blue. Right, just the top. Right, and these come out very transparent-y, so I can get away with kind of just stacking colors on top of each other, and it's not gonna overtake that white, it's just gonna add a blue tint to it. That's exactly what I want. Now for the green, we're gonna get a little closer to the root now. Little closer. So we're gonna go back with the same exact tool that we use. If you wanna line it up perfectly, knock your fucking heart out. I don't do that. We're just gonna get as close as we can. Right, and I'm holding it a bit closer now, and I'm spraying the trash. Right, just letting that redirect downwards. We have a little thing up there. Right, just getting as close to that root as possible. And then we're gonna get closer just one final time. I know it's a lot of steps, so this is just the way that I've found to get the best Northern Lights that I can possibly get. I like to go just one final time with a little bit more white at the root. Also, remember with this trash, wipe it off every once in a while because it's gonna drip. And then we're all gonna be fucking sad. It's all gonna be depressing. One final time, I'm gonna get super close right here. Just want a little, wait, that's my blue. My bad. Just a little white. Just to add that glow. If you want to re-add those lines, you absolutely can. Sometimes I feel like I lost them to the blue or the green or whatever. All right, there we go. And those are the Northern Lights, so that's how I do it. This is how I do them. That took a lot of experimenting to actually figure out the best way to do these. So, and then the best part is when you hit it with the clear coat. That's the best part. But I'm actually going to do the mountains first, and then we'll hit it with the clear coat to clean it up, because it takes away a lot of that overspray that Montana Gold has a habit of leaving behind, and it just, ooh, it's great. It's a great moment. So let's do some mountains. We're going to do them a little differently, though. We're going to use some trash, right, just as a paintbrush. Black. And I think we're going to do maybe more of a snowy scene, but I do want some mountains back here. So how about we do... I like the idea of having something right there. There's a little mark that I left by accident earlier. So we'll cover that up. And we're just going to paint in some wonky triangles. Just trying to get some triangle shapes in there. Right, and then just kind of add like a bunch of jigs and jags to them. Zigs and zags, jigs and jags. Make them shaky, right? Because nature's not perfect. They're not perfect lines. So... see, like right here, it's like a perfect triangle. It looks funky, right? So let's go ahead and make it a bit weird. Let's add a bunch of random weird points everywhere. And then let's add another little thing right here. Just like so. Don't worry about it being perfectly black or whatever. It actually wound up turning a little gray for me just because I sprayed it on top of some white. On complete accident, but it doesn't really matter. Because what we're going to do, we're going to put in a few... Actually, I might leave it just like that because the gray looks pretty good. But you know what? I want to add just maybe a little bit of white to maybe this side of the mountain. Remember, it's turning out pretty gray, so I'm just kind of smearing it in. Just kind of making some texture and stuff. I don't know the actual way to paint mountains. I just kind of go for it. But that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and hit everything with the clear coat that we have so far. And watch those northern lights glow. That looks sick. Looks really sick so far. That's great. So how about we could do maybe some trees and stuff like that. I don't know if I do want to make it snowy because we didn't really add too much white. I'm scared to because I really like the mountains the way that they look right now. So maybe we'll go with something different other than the snow thing. But I am going to take some black and just kind of darken it up down here. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just fill in the rest. My can just spit out something. All right. Maybe we do like kind of a foresty sort of thing. Maybe a staircase like that's going through a forest. I've been kind of fucking with that a lot lately. I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, sure. Let's take some white and let's add a mist down here. And we can add some trees and stuff like that. How about a distant tree line? We'll do that today. We haven't taught that. I know it can kick a lot of people's butts. I don't know why I didn't say asses. I don't know why I stopped myself from using profane words. I fucking curse all the time. But we're gonna need a synthetic sponge for this. I'm gonna throw away the old one because it's filled with like green and shit and we don't need that. We're gonna need a piece of synthetic sponge that has a bit of a sharper side to it. So with the synthetic sponge, they come in big chunks. I don't know if I have any to show you, but they come in big chunks. And what I do is I just cut off pieces with scissors. Now what I want, sometimes the pieces that we cut off will have a nice like sharp side like this. That's exactly what I want here. Exactly what I'm looking for, as close to clean sharp side as we could possibly get. Now hold on, I'm the one shedding now. I can't even blame my dogs. So let's just throw that glove away. We'll just dirty the hands a little bit. So what we're gonna do, now with that sharp side, which is gonna be this one, I'm gonna take my finger, I'm just gonna pull back the top. It's just the way that I learned how to do it. Now we're gonna coat this up with a bunch of black. And I'm just gonna kind of tap my way up, very lightly. Okay, go very, very light, right? But because I'm pulling back that top, we get that point. Right, and I just like to kind of tap my way up for a tree. I don't know, I think it's more of a habit sort of thing. But I just want to explain how I do it, just in case there is like something behind it. Something. Now we have a nice little tree line back there, and we can actually cut this up. So let's do a little bit of black, and then we'll actually let's take some of the color for a mist. Let's take that green again. I think that'll be fun. We'll take that green, we'll take that white. And remember, I'm able to hold them that close just because it's a softer can, right? That's it. So let's get some more black onto the sponge, and we're going to do the same exact thing. We're just going to make another tree line. That is it. Remember, I'm pulling back the top up here. And since these trees are a little bit closer, you can put down a little bit more pressure. This doesn't matter too much because we're going to do a little staircase anyway. I don't know how much of that is going to cover these trees. Just need a little bit more black. There we go. We got ourselves some nice trees. I don't actually, maybe we'll do close-up one, maybe we won't. But let's go ahead. Just add that black. We'll add, how How about we add blue to this one as well? All right, we'll add some of that blue. Add some of that green, just because we already have, oh, that's white. We already have that color scheme going on up there. All right, so I just did the blue, I did the green kind of underneath, and then the white underneath that. And that's all that I did for the mist right there. Not too crazy. And I think, yes, let's do one bigger tree right off to the side here, and then we'll do like a small staircase with maybe some plant life and stuff like that, all that other good shit. So let's take a little bit of clear, just a little clear, because I like to mark my trunks. Mark the tree trunks. I'm just gonna take my knife, right? It doesn't have to be this exact tool, it could be anything sharp, but I'm just gonna trace down a line. This is gonna work as a guide, but also we can see that trunk sometimes. So it's a nice little detail. I almost fell over, sorry. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do the same exact method for the top of this tree. Right? Just because, you know, it's the top of the tree. But here's what I am going to do now. I'm using the same sponge, by the way, and I'm going to put some more black on it. But what I'm going to do this time, instead of going up and down, oh wait, I always forget you guys are facing this way. But instead of going up and down like that, what I'm going to do, turn it over. Just turn it over, and I'm going to pinch it down. Pinch it down like so. Now as I go down this tree, and I'm just going to zigzag down the tree, right? I'm going to slowly open this up more and more. That's the whole idea of it. That's the whole idea. Right, so I have it pinched down as much as I can get it to go. Right, and I'm just going to zigzag back and forth. And I'm not really opening it up too much yet, but as we work our way down, I'm just slowly getting there, right? Just kind of opening this up more and more. And then where I am at right now, that's where I'm at right now, halfway through the tree. And remember, some of these branches can curve up as well. So we could start here, open it up, and then sometimes I'll kind of curve it upward. And I'll just change the direction, right? And just kind of zigzag back and forth. Get the general shape of the tree. And then you can go back and fill in some empty spaces. Something that bothers me is, like when I start to zigzag, it just looks too zigzaggy. It looks very manufactured. So what I'll do, just go over there and add some little random leaves at points to kind of random it up. Random it up? Yep, random it up. Same thing over here. Maybe we have a branch that goes up right there. No big deal. Just like so. Maybe we'll add, I kind of like it being dark. I kind of like how dark this is, but we could add a highlight after. But first, let's just do everything else first. So let's do more plants and stuff like that. Now this isn't a tropical thing, so we're not going to do what we did the last time with all the swiping. We're just going to kind of tap. Just tap, and I'm arching it a little bit for like bushes and stuff. It's just the shape that I want. And I think this is where my stairs are going to be, right there. So let's fill this all in. I have a good enough cushion here. It's where I'm comfortable to just spray it all in. But if you're worried about overspray, just keep filling it in with the sponge. No big deal. So let's do our stairs. Palette knife is what I prefer for this. The paint should still be wet, but if the paint dries on you, use the clear coat. And what I'm going to do is just scrape in a line up there. That's my first step. That's the top step. And I'm just going to kind of lean more into, as we go down and as we get closer and closer, like the steps towards us, I'm going to lean a bit more into this side of the knife here. So I'm starting with the point, and I'm just going to lean more into it, just to make the steps bigger, right? See, I basically, at that point, I use the entire, you can't really see it, but I use the entire side of that knife right there. So there's our stairs. That looks great, that looks fine. Let's take another magazine, newspaper, whatever you got lying around. And let's do some rocks. Maybe we have some rocks kind of leaning up against the stairs. Right, we don't have any colors under here because we just didn't put that first layer down. But the white looks nice. I think it fits actually pretty well. Maybe we just have a small little thing kind of like right there. some rocks, and then maybe we have some grass and stuff as well. So let's take our knife again, make some grass. Maybe we have a tree branch. Let's take a little clear coat, just make sure that paint is wet. Maybe we have a tree branch that is kind of hanging out right here. Right, and I'm not trying to make a straight line, right? And when I'm starting with I like to start with the smallest end of the branch and then just kind of go to like the roots. That's just the way I like to go. So I'm starting with the point, once again, just like before with the stairs, I'm starting with the point and then leaning into the side of the palette knife a little bit more to make it thicker. Make it thicker towards the roots. Just like that. And then some lines connected to the lines, right, for the branches. We don't need to do anything with it. We don't need to add any leaves. We made that mistake once already today. Just leave it bare. How about we have a little thing right here. Looks pretty nice so far. I'm not even gonna add a railing. Railings are for pussies. We don't need a railing. We'll just have the stairs there. So let's do, I'm actually not gonna add a highlight to the tree. I just like everything silhouetted in here. I don't know, I just like the look of it. So I think adding highlights now would be a bit weird. But we can add just one final layer of something. So let's do a little bit of blue. A little bit of that fluorescent blue. And we can see how this looks under a black light. I doubt it looks like anything, but we could definitely see. Some of that green. Some of, what happened to the white? Okay, it was a little rough there for a second. Right, and we'll add one final layer, like a bush or whatever, right here. So let's just add, yeah, let's just add a little bush right here. Not bad, but I think I actually want to add another little thing right here. I'm just going to add some blue. There we go. That looks a lot better. It was too thick. And then I think I like to just add some little mists in the corners as well, just to add some color. I think we'll just leave it with the blue. But hey, listen, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Let's put these down here. Clean up a little, and then we'll hit it with one final layer of clear coat. One final layer of the secret sauce. This is a bit more simpler, way different than the last. Oh, I forgot to sign my name. Squiggle.